Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture on AWS IAM. I am Manas Mohammed and today we are going to learn about AWS IAM. Let's recall what we have done in the last class. So we have actually discussed about users, groups, roles and policies. These are basically the four important things of AWS IAM. So users are nothing but we create an IAM user. Like I have got two users. This is one user, this is another user. Groups are a collection of users. So I've got a group here as well. So this is an administrator group. You can add users here by clicking here. And roles are like permissions or policies where you want one AWS service to connect to another AWS service. Like if you want an EC2 service to connect to S3 directly, we can create a role so they can talk to each other. So that's why we have got roles for one permission for one resource in AWS. If you want that resource to connect to another resource, we create roles. Policies are basically documents. These are the policies that we have got. Like if you keep on scrolling, you can have a lot of policies here. So you can see there are like 67 pages and more. So these many policies that we have got. So these are about the policies, roles and stuff. So let's go and see the users. First, let's delete one of the users. Let's go here, delete user, and you got to type the same name of the user. 372, and then you can delete the user. So first we'll create a user. Okay, and before that we'll have to ensure that here we are in the root account. So that's my root account because that's got an email address on it, and that is a secure root account now, and I don't want to use my root account, and it is not a secure practice as well in the organization for using the root account. You know why? Because root account is like the main admin account. If somebody has got the credentials of your root account, then your entire uh, infrastructure that you've actually created can actually, have a lot of problems on it. So we don't use the root account. We always use IAM users. So let's get our hands dirty and start working and creating users. So when you go here, click on users, create user. I'm going to give a username. Okay. And this is the console access. So I'm going to provide the console access and I want to create an IAM user. Here we have got password retention. So we've got an auto-generated password or we can click a custom password. But if we are working in an organization, we would be giving an auto-generated password and we would be having this clicked as well because the user would actually log in and create his own credentials because we don't really want his credentials as well. But because I'm the one using it, I will not be needing it. So I'll create a custom password for myself and I click on next. So we don't want to save it. So permissions, here we can actually give permissions. Like if you have got existing permissions, you can copy the permissions from here. But if you don't have the permissions, we've got one permissions, we can attach this permissions here as well. Or what you can do is you can attach the permissions directly. From here, you can go, you can click on any service, let's say S3, full access. We can attach this and then go click on next. But for this user, I'm going to give full admin privileges. So I'm going to give administrator access. And after that, I'm going to click next. So here we can see that we've got an administrator access, which is like you're actually sharing your root account with this user because he's got admin privileges. And adding a new tag. So tags are basically key value pairs. Like when you buy something, you get a tag. When you buy a shirt or a pant, you would be having tags on it. So that's what it is. It will be mentioning the price of it. It's just for your reference. So here we say honors and we can give a value. We say admin and we're gonna create the user. So now we have actually created the user. That is the name of the user, and that's the password. You can send an email as well, or here what you can do is you can download a CSV file. So you see the CSV file has got all the user credentials. So if you forget the user credentials, you can go into the CSV file and have a look at it. All right. So we'll go back here. Now let's see, we have got the user created. Go back to the user. We see here we have attached the administrator access permissions, and we have got the user as well. Now what we can do is user groups. What we can do, we have got an administrator group created, or what you can do, you can create a group. Okay, if you want, you can create a group. You can create a group here, say any group name, admin group, and then you can add the user, create the group. So you can see Anas Muhammad is a part of this admin group here. So that's what you can have multiple people in a group, or you can have a group called developers, you can have a group for finance, and you can have a group for like any other services that you're going. We've got DevOps group as well. So the groups would actually inherit the permissions that are being given to the group, and they would be having the user individual permissions as well. So that is about the groups. So what I'll do is I'll just pause this lecture for a while and I'll log in as an IAM user. Hello everyone, welcome back. I have signed in as a user, Anas Muhammad, the user that we have created at the rate of user ID here. So this is the username and then the user ID at the rate user ID. So here we can see IAM, we have got two users that we have actually got, and we have got this user who's a part of a group, and he would be inheriting the admin permissions because he's a part of admin group, and we have attached the administrator access to this person, so he can do whatsoever he want. So what we do is we go back to the user, we click here, and because he's got the administrator access, we will go and create like an EC2 server. Okay, just to check if he can create a server. Okay, so we launch an instance. Okay, we say the server name like Cloud Catalyst Academy 1, and we're going to use the Amazon Linux server. We'll use the t2.micro because that's a free tier level eligible, and the key value pairs. Key pair, we would be using the Cloud Academy key pair because I already had a key pair available, and the traffic would be SSH from anywhere, and we launch an instance. So let's see, because we have got the admin permissions, we can launch the instance or not. It's view instances. Okay. So we've got Cloud Catalyst Academy 1, which is running, and this instance we have just created. So that's the public IP, that's the private IP, and so the instance is actually created. So what we can do, we can connect, we can go to SSH, connect here. So we can do all the required things that a root user can do, but I feel we only cannot do is like the billing section of it. So let's see, who am I? I'm the EC2 user. Okay, ls. Let's list the files. So this is the files. We've got the users, files, and this and directories. So that's all for the lecture of IAM. And the most important thing here is we can see this is the account ID. This is the account IAM user. And that's all. So this we have created in the Ohio region. The server is in Ohio region. And let's go back to IAM again. There's one thing that we'll have to look around. Okay, now you see the United States, Ohio. We are in United States, Ohio region. But when we click on IAM, that would suddenly change into global because IAM is a global service. So the username should be unique. Okay, it's a universal namespace. And the other thing that I'd like to show you is go and click the users, click on the user, and we've got the permissions. I'd like to show you the permissions as well. So here, this is the version. This is actually written in JSON, which is JavaScript or notation language. And this is a version of the script, okay, or the JSON. And the statement says effect. It can allow or deny. So we have allowed it. And the action says star or the resources star as well, which means we are allowing the action for all the services. Resource is for like all the services and we are allowing. So this is the basic JSON script that we have actually got. And here, if you consider, you've got the flower brackets here, the curly brackets. So this is eventually what we do is called as the nesting in JSON. So we've got nesting in JSON, which is effect is allow, and asterisk means for everyone. So he can use all the services, all the resources, and we are giving him the access for all the resources. Now let's go to the roles, which is the final aspect of it. So what we do is we create a role. So what kind of role that we want to create? So we choose an AWS service. Okay, use case would be like, let's say we want EC2 and let's create a role. So we want our EC2 server to actually connect with, let's say the S3. Okay, so now we see the version, we say allow, and then we want the EC2 service to actually, connect to the S3 service. So we create a role, we need a role name, we say S3, S3 full access to the EC2. So now we have got our role, which has been successfully created. So we have got the S3 full access here. So that's how we have got the role being created. So we can attach this role to the EC2 service and the S3. So the S3 can eventually connect to the EC2 service and the EC2 service can actually connect to the S3 service. And that's why we have got roles. So users are just individual users that use the AWS resource. Groups are a collection of users. They inherit the permissions of their individual permissions as well as the permissions that are being given to the group. So policies are basically the policy documents that are being written in the JSON format, and we can attach the policies to users, groups, and roles is a service which actually helps you for one AWS service to connect to another AWS service. I hope you like the lecture. I'll come back with another lecture and we are going to learn EC2 in the next coming lectures. And I hope you like the video. Thank you very much for watching.